Monday night.
The magnitude of Russia's cyber capacity is fairly consequential, and it's coming.
Administration officials said there's no evidence of a specific credible threat, but cybersecurity experts tell CBS News they're particularly concerned about potential attacks on the U.S. financial sector, power grid, and water systems. As a precaution, federal officials in recent days gave classified briefings to some companies tied to infrastructure.
There is some preparatory activity that we're seeing, and that is what we shared in the classified context. So preparatory activity could mean scanning websites, it could be hunting for vulnerabilities.
In his speech to town business leaders, the president also said Russia is falsely claiming the U.S. and Ukraine are using chemical, biological weapons in Ukraine.
That's a clear sign he's considering using both of those, and we should be careful what's about to come. He knows there'll be severe consequences because of the United NATO front.
And though the Pentagon couldn't verify Russia's claim of using a powerful new weapon, Mr. Biden said it's a threat that's almost impossible to stop.
They just launched a hypersonic missile because it's the only thing that they can get through with absolute certainty.
Meantime, the Pentagon now confirms it is helping collect evidence of war crimes in Russia, and later this morning, the UN General Assembly will hold a rare session to discuss what to do with the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. Gail?
All right, and thank you very much. Search teams are...
No, we are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway.
You see what I'm saying? Shalom, shalom. First, thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the great millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the elect. Real quick, man, I wanted to kind of focus on what this guy, Creepy Joe, Jim Crow Joe, basically mentioned about a one world order. I got this clip from the beloved brother Amwan Gabar from the main camp. This is his clip he put together, and through the spirit, he's allowed me to use it. But we've been prophesying about the NWO. And if you go into this interview with this guy by the name of Aaron Russo, I believe he was being interviewed. He went into how Nick Rockefeller was going into how they wanted to bring about a one world totalitarian government and to pretty much charagma everybody. Okay, because that's the end goal for the elites, man. Okay, to exercise raw power over humans. They got all the money, they have the banks, they have all the wealth in the world. They've stole the world's resources, which proved that this man is not fitted to rule because he's bored now. So his whole point is to making life miserable, man. This is the reason why you have what they call mystery meat. This is why you have the Impossible Whopper. Okay, different so-called proteins that's really not eating bugs, sewage, chemical warfare, biological warfare, and the list goes on. Why? Because, hey, this man is Satan. He's against everything that the Most High has set up on high, including his people, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, which were the biblical Israelites. Okay, so with that being said, man, something is getting ready to happen because cyber attacks. They've been alluding at that since alleged Russia invaded Ukraine. Okay, and they talking about cyber attacks, and cyber attacks can be very devastating on the American economy. Okay, from banking to your jobs, to infrastructures, to your money, to your financial systems. Hey, you have a fucking cyber attack, man. Hey, that's going to shut everything down. Okay, because cyber attacks leads to cyber attacks or EMPs, which stands for electric magnetic pulse, which can totally disrupt the power source of America, man. All right, so with that being said, man, hey, it's time to really pay attention to these prophecies, man. Like the scripture says, high time that we wake up out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than what we believe, right? Because, hey, you heard it from the devil's mouth, okay? Cyber attacks. So, hey, the New World Order, cyber attacks, hence the MOTB. Like the Apostle Gabar has always said, and we've all echoed that statement. They said in order for the elites to bring in that MOTB or that Caragua, they're going to have some type of attack. Okay, they're going to have to plan some type of attack on the shores of Babylon in the form of an economic collapse or cyber attacks or some type of invasion. Okay, some type of pocket nuke, whatever they may deem necessary in order to establish their one world government. But regardless, they're in the process of doing it, and it will fail. But overall, man, they're going to get a lot of people, man, to take this, you know what. So anyway, I got a precept here. This is the book of Revelation 12 and 12, because we in them times, brothers. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, rejoice, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time, man. All right. So let me see something real quick. Biden warns of cyber attack. Cyber attacks. And this was a day ago. Biden warns private sector of potential Russian cyber attacks, and they're quick to throw things on the Russians, man, because the Russians are the cop-out. The big bad boogeyman, that's the cop-out for this man's wickedness, okay? Because, hey, they're blaming Russia for everything. When in fact, I don't believe Russia will have anything to do with a cyber attack. But then again, they may. But if they don't, or if they do, then you better believe that the American government is in cahoots, because all these nations in a roundabout way are in bed with one another, man, when it comes to this NWO. Okay, same thing with Putin. Like the brother called him Thrutin. But anything with Putin, you know, the BRICS nations being established. Okay, he wanted to get Ukraine pretty much back, a part of the family ties, so to speak. You know, the whole different of the cryptocurrencies, the digital currencies. All these governments are in line with that. It's just America is going to do something stupid that's going to offset everything. And therefore, the nations are going to be mad. Because regardless of it is, even though they're all in cahoots with this one world order, they don't want America part of it. You see, they don't want Babylon part of it, because they understand that they're tired of Western hegemony. Okay, they're tired of Western dictatorship. They want a new world without you Edomite devils in America ruling everything, because they're tired of it, man. Okay, these nations have had it. But regardless, none of you are going to rule. You see? Because what it says here, Biden warns of Russian cyber attacks. Now, let's look up devastating effects of cyber attacks. Devastating facts or devastating impact of a cyber attack. Let's see what it says. It says cyber attacks can damage your business reputation, erode your trust from customers, XYZ. Let's read here. It says cyber attacks that involve data breaches can cause logistical headaches as customers deal with the impacts of compromised accounts, data breaches, even stolen identities. However, cyber attacks can cause problems that go beyond nuisance to downright chaos. Right. Let's just say if they hit the World Bank, or let's just say if they hit a cyber attack on a Pentagon or on the Federal Reserve. Okay, which that can very well be a possibility. Then what happens? People ain't going to be able to get their money out the banks. Then people are going to be bugging out. Okay, this is the reason why, you know, we tell brothers, if it be possible, you know, even though this is not going to save you, silver probably will be a good option. Okay, gold has went up, I believe, officially to $2,000 a pound. Okay, silver you can still find pretty cheap, which is not a bad investment if you ask me, you know. But hey, even if you do or you don't, it just depends on what the Lord puts in your spirit. You know, it's not going to save you or anything like that, but it can be some type of defense against inflation, because now we are experiencing inflation, soon to be hyperinflation, because when a loaf of bread becomes $65 and a carton of eggs become $125, these people are going to really lose their minds. But this is all the plan of the elites to get the people to bow down to this one world government. You know, this is the reason why they're painting Russia as the big bad boogeyman. Okay, you're not really hearing anything about the 1-9 anymore. Okay, though it just came back up in the news, but you scarcely hearing about that C-19 thing, because that was the big bad boogeyman for the last 2 years. But somehow they're going to reintroduce it and repackage it and get you even more hyped, because now, hey, China, they're shutting back down. Okay, a society over 1 billion people Okay, and they had like one of the fewest, I ain't gonna say the fewest cases, but yet they pretty much didn't lock down for real. And then they didn't have as many cases as over here, but all of a sudden they locking back down now. You know, sooner or later, hey, it's gonna follow suit in America, etc. Okay, they're gonna bring back the face mandates. They're gonna bring back the juice mandates. Okay, and overall they're gonna bring in the MOTB. And that's what this whole New World Order BS is all about. All right, but it's gonna fail because this is the scripture. This is the book of Job 5, and I'm gonna start at verses 12. It says, "He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise." That enterprise is this one world order, man. Okay, one world order on dollar bill. And if you go to the images here, it breaks it down. Right, and this is pretty much their infrastructure. The one world government, man. One world order. Dollar bill. Latin translation. Dollar bill, the American three Latin phrases, namely annuet conceptus. This means he approved of our undertakings. Novo ordo seclorum, a new world of the ages. Okay, e pluribus unum, out of many appear one, appear on the great seal of the united flag. Okay, so basically you could translate that new order of the ages, out of many we're one. That's the same thing Antiochus tried to establish. That's the same thing Nimrod tried to establish, man, when they was building the Tower of Babel. But what happened? The angel came down and confounded the languages, man. Okay, because the Most High wasn't with that one world government. The only one world government that's going to be set up is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's kingdom and righteousness, man. The Lord is not going to allow all you nations to consume into wickedness, because that'd be the demise of the earth, man. That's why the Lord confused it. And that's the reason why when Antiochus tried to establish it, what did the Most High do? He set up Matthias, Judas Maccabeus, Jonathan, the Maccabean brothers, man. He set up vigilant men of war, okay, to fight for our people. Okay, he's going to do that in this time because the men of the Lord are going to get those spiritual powers, man. Lord's will be chosen. Okay. So anyway, it says here, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands could not perform their enterprise. And he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. Right. Because eventually it's going to fail, because all these other nations are speaking about this thing. But yet they're at odds with one another, man. You know, they're allies in one pocket, but on the other pocket, they're at odds with one another. Because like I said, all these nations are in cahoots with this one world government. But regardless of that, you're still going to have infighting. OK, because the American people were completely divided based on juice mandates, mass mandates. People are literally divided over this shit, while the billionaires are becoming richer. OK, I believe like 10 of the top world's billionaires became trillionaires or cashed out over $1 billion due to the whole pandemic thing. While you niggas are sitting up here paying higher taxes, man. OK, you eat mystery meat. You're losing your jobs. You on lockdown. Here they give your ass $600 a week in unemployment. But yet these nations are cashing out billions. That's why Biden was warning these CEOs and these investors of these companies to start closing up, man, because something's getting ready to happen. So when the private sector hits, then a lot of jobs are going to fall, because a lot of people are they're leaving the public sector and going to the private sector. OK, me personally, I work in the private sector right now. You see what I'm saying? And hey, if this shit really goes down, then hey, you can say goodbye to that. And hey, me personally, I don't really give a fuck. Because hey, I'm tired of working anyway. I'm tired of dealing with Esau's madness. You know, it's all vanity at the end of the day. And, you know, we just want salvation and a place of refuge, you know. But it's coming, brothers, you know, so we just got to be patient. It says here, they meet with darkness in the daytime, and they grope in the noonday as the night. But he saved the poor from the sword, and from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. Right? Because when this old ordeal goes down, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai is going to protect us, man. And that sword is this damn devil, because he's going to come down with his troops. Okay, he's going to have his weapons. Like a brother sent me a video today, hey, they got these cyber dogs, or like these little I don't know if brothers heard of what's the name of that place when they deal with the robots, man. It's a particular it's like a technology company, but they deal with the robots, and they deal with those like if brothers saw Monsters of Men, they basically deal with those robots, man. I can't recall the technology company that was funded through the Pentagon, but they got those military fucking dogs. They were doing push-ups, man. The robots can jump up and down. They can shoot. They got sniper rifles. This man has an army prepared for us, man. Okay, and he's going to use that on you regular peons here in America. When they deploy these troops to the streets and they saying that you Americans are getting very combative because you ain't abiding by curfew or lockdown orders, because they're going to establish a curfew once an economic collapse hits. Okay, once another virus hits, they're going to establish a curfew. And a lot of you people are going to defy the curfew because you're going to go off that Second Amendment nonsense. Well, we have a right to bear arms. So these Americans, man, they getting ready to rouse up too, because they realize that they're being put in a box, man. But hey, that's your fault. You allowed it, you know. And it says here, so that the poor have hope and iniquity stopped her mouth. But behold, happy is the man who the Most High corrected. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. All right. Another precept here. Just the book of Job, the 18th chapter. And I know a few brothers brought this out, but I'm going to bring it out again because it goes right into the lesson that we're speaking about. So this is the book of Job 18. And I'm going to start at verses. Let's start at verses 5. It says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. Right. That's his wisdom and knowledge. OK, that's his setting up this new world order. It's going to fail. It's going to fall on his face. You see how bad he struggled for this whole C-19 to work. And it barely worked. I mean, it worked on the idiots. But overall, people, they just like, man, we ain't listening to this shit. I mean, they was literally, no matter how stupid and how sloppy it was, this man was still pushing for that nonsense. And it says, yea, the light of the wicked should be put out, and the spark of his fire should not shine. And the light should be dark in his tabernacle. His tabernacle is basically his society, man. His witchcraft. Okay? That's his light on what they call themselves, the enlightened ones on high. The Luciferians, man, which the word Lucifer goes into the Hebrew word Hayallah, which means light. Okay? And it says here, and his candle should be put out with him, and the steps of his strength should be straight, and his own counsel should cast him head down. Hey, Alex, look, man, you got this dude by the name of John Todd. John Todd claimed to be one of the top witches in the Illuminati at that time. Don't know how true it is, but nonetheless, them John Todd tapes, man, hey, brothers was listening to those. I remember when I first came into the truth, I was heavy on them John Todd tapes, man, because, hey, he exposed the Illuminati. And when you first come into the truth, you be all into the Illuminati, man, because you like, wow. You be spending hours watching that shit. They show you the videos with the celebrities. I remember I used to be literally on a computer watching them videos for 3, 4, 5 hours straight. Just like, wow. You know, even though a lot of it is a lot of disinformation, but nonetheless, man, it gave you an idea on what the hell was really going on with these behind the curtain people. You know, the whole Skull and Bones. All right, the whole 322, which is the code for Skull and Bones. You know, the colleges, the institutions. You know, the frat, the pledging, okay, the frat boys, you got the Kappa, okay, you got the, the Beta, you know, Alpha, all those pledges, all those sororities, man. All that shit goes back into that dark Masonic. Oh, here you got Jake's pledging in high school and college. Talking about, I want to be an Eastern Star, man. You a damn witch, okay? But it says here, and his own counsel should cast him down. You got a lot of their own people exposing them. Okay, like one chick came on an Alex Jones show, I want to say about a week and a half ago, or whenever that clip came out, and basically she was like, look, we're reaping the dangers of the Edomites, man. She basically said, look, we're the Edomites and we fucking up the earth. Okay, that was a straight blow to the head. I know the elites cringe when they heard that. Alex Jones, you better be careful who calling your show, man. That's all I'm gonna say. But it says, and a gent should take him by the heel, and the robber should prevail against him. And there is a snare laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Right, because that trap is going to be Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Because the Most High is going to trap you up in your own folly, man. Okay, you're going to expose yourself. And it says here, terror should make him afraid on every side, and should drive him to his feet. Right, because now you're seeing the angels. Okay, you seeing the angels, you seeing the men of the Lord popping up on the highways and the byways. These shows are cutting your ass, man. It ain't nothing you can do about it. And it says here, and his strength should be hunger bitten, and destruction should be ready at his side. And it should devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death, which is Yahweh Shai, should devour his strength. Right? Because Yahweh Shai is going to come back with the angelic forces, with the forces of heaven. All right? And it says, and his confidence should be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it should bring him to the king of terrors. Right? Because ultimately, man, when you realize that it ain't going to work, that's when you're going to be destroyed. And those of you that we don't destroy, we're going to round you up and throw you head first in slavery. And you're going to serve the Hebrew Israelites, man, for 1,000 years. And then you're going to be eradicated. That's terror in itself, because, you're going to serve a harsh punishment, man. All you devils, even from the least to the great of you. And it says here, and it should dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone should be scattered upon his habitation. Right. Because, America don't belong to you. These riches don't belong to you. The power don't belong to you. It was just given to you for a time, okay, for you to use it for the Lord's purpose. Now the Lord's getting ready to take that sword from your ass, man, okay, because you're irrelevant at the end of the day. And it reads here, and his roots should be dried up beneath, and above shall his branches be cut off, because all you devils are going to be cut off, okay, every last one of you. That's why it says neither leave neither root nor branch. Okay, but it says, and his remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. You know, like all those fancy names that they got, Poppenberger Avenue, Henrietta. I mean, Esau got some Rothschild Avenue, Rockefeller Road. Okay, he ain't talking about Michigan Avenue, Indiana, State Street. Hell no, that's some Jake shit. Federal, Halstead, Wabash, Calumet. That's the Jake shit, man. Esau don't have names like that, Esau got street names like Wayne Manor, what's a good one? They got streets, they got names of the streets that's basically named after a lot of Gadites, but overall they lived in the most plush areas in the neighborhoods, man. You're not gonna have that no more in the kingdom. In the kingdom, you're gonna literally be insignificant. Okay, and all the nations are going to look at you and say, wow, this was the man that was popping all that. Nah, you going down, bro. And it says here, he should be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. He should neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. And they that come after him should be astonished at his day, as they went before were frightened. Surely such are the dwellings of that wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High, man. So, you devils, man, you out of here, all right? But anyway, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. And with that, Shalom and Abba Ball.